16 months after the October 7th massacre, the nation of Israel is still suffering. One hostage, who spent more than 500 days in captivity, is now dedicated to helping his country's long-term recovery. He shared his amazing story of survival with CBN's Brody Carter.
Naples, Florida is a world away from the Gaza tunnels, where Nova Music Festival survivor Omer Banker spent more than 500 days. Yet it's here where he's sharing his first-hand account of the horrors of October 7th and the hope he holds for the future of Israel.
And the festival was beautiful. You know, the crowd was so unique. In the trance music, in the trance festival in Israel, you can be whatever you want.
All of that changed in an instant on October 7th, 2023, for Omer Banker and his best friend Kim. They were attending the Nova Music Festival just miles from the Gaza border. Only hours after they arrived, Hamas missiles interrupted the celebration.
Hard to say it because it was very loud music. So Kim looked at me and she blinked me and smiled like, they're shooting on us.
In a panic, people ran for their lives as Hamas terrorists attacked, killing more than 1,200. Omer and Kim made it to their car and drove to a kibbutz where they'd hid with 40 others in a small bomb shelter until the terrorists found them.
They threw 7 or 8 grenades to the shelter and they set the shelter on fire. They put gas on the bodies in the entrance of the shelter and set them on fire, trying to burn us alive. After I went out of the shelter, I saw only dead bodies around the junction and a lot of terrorists.
Kim did not survive, and they took Omer to Gaza, where he would spend the next 505 days in tunnels, a period marked by darkness, isolation, starvation, and torture. He was beaten with iron bars, and for nearly 200 days, he saw no one. Yet in that emptiness, he recalls a divine presence.
I was 197 days alone at captivity, completely alone. In a narrow tunnel, alone. And I didn't felt alone for a second. And I think it says a lot about my relationship with God today, with Judaism. I really didn't felt alone for a second. And I prayed it the whole time, and it's making me stronger.
Released in February 2025, Omer returned to the world forever changed.
When Omer returned, because he bring a lot of light to my life after a lot of darkness.
His girlfriend, Adi Taub, had also been shattered by that fateful day. Together, they're now focused on a future defined not by hate or anger, but healing.
What do you want to do with your life? You have your whole life ahead of you. What do you want to do?
And I can tell you that my biggest dream today is being a father, but like a real father, a real family guy.
And it is this message of resilience, family, and future that Omer now shares, sponsored by an organization turning his story into support for others.
I felt threatened for the first time as a Jewish person that if it could happen there, it could happen here.
Michael Siegel is co-founder of the Brotherhood Mission to Israel. He and founder Dr. Stephen Katz leads a fundraising effort that taps into a network of supporters who travel to Israel as hands-on ambassadors of support.
Do everything we can to help each other. We always have, we always will.
Last year, they raised $2.5 million, funding therapeutic farms for soldiers with post-traumatic stress, rebuilding border communities, and helping supply IDF units.
Although the war is over, there's so many things that still need to do. People are living in trauma. They have PTSD. There's a high suicide rate in Israel from it, and their war is just beginning.
The mission partners with the Jewish National Fund USA, a pioneering Zionist organization that stood beside Israel even before its founding. Together, they organized Omer's tour with a single goal for others to hear his story, because they believe that by hearing a witness, you become a witness.
It is ultimately a story of hope and resilience. And that is the story of the Jewish people, the Israeli people, and all of her allies of all different backgrounds and faiths. And we have to draw upon that courage, that strength, that resilience.
Omer's story, born in terror, now fuels a mission of restoration. The darkness of that tunnel is being channeled thousands of miles away into light for others.
Actually, I feel safe than ever in Israel. I'm happy that I'm feeling like that, because it's one more reason to be 100% sure that I'm gonna stay in Israel for my whole life, no matter what, because this is my country.
Omer's story shows us that resilience needs hope to survive, that even in the deepest, darkest moments in this life, we are not alone, and that in sharing our story, we can shine light and a path forward for others. In Naples, Florida, Brody Carter, CBN News.
Well, if you're going through a difficult time, Omer went through something that's absolutely horrific. Beaten with iron rods, kept in total isolation, total darkness in a tunnel for days on end. And he found a presence with him in the middle of that tunnel. Psalm 46, verse 1, God is our strength and our refuge, a very present help in time of trouble. He was very present for Omer. He will be very present for you. The entire nation of Israel seems to be traumatized by these events, and the Jewish people around the world traumatized by what we all thought would never happen again. But there's a global rise of anti-Semitism. With it, these libelous accusations, these absolute lies about what they're trying to do in Gaza, or their oppression of people. It's incredible. Truth has been stood on its head. And where do you go with all of that? For us here at CBN, we want to extend arms of help and hearts of compassion during these times. We've linked up with the Israeli Trauma Coalition. We've established a resilience center just outside of Jerusalem. We want to train first responders there in Israel how to recognize the signs of post-traumatic stress, how to deal with the initial symptoms, and then how do we provide long-term care for all the survivors of the kibbutzes, everyone involved in the Gaza envelope, all the ones who suffered under the rocket attacks from Hezbollah in northern Israel. You can be a part of it. It's real simple. You pick up a phone, you call us, 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to give to CBN Israel. It's a designated fund, and your gift will go into the wonderful humanitarian work we're doing in Israel. A portion of it will go into the news coverage. We want to keep you up to date with the latest headline stories like what you just saw that are current events, what's happening in Israel today. And then the wonderful documentaries showing the history of the Jewish state, the history of the Bible. You're part of all of it when you contribute to CBN Israel. So do it, 1-800-700-7000.